So the idea we came up with was I would be someone who had been sex trafficked from an Eastern Bloc country because I can pass for it. So I started talking on the phone. I was introduced him through another undercover and talking to him on the phone, and I had to develop an Eastern Bloc accent. I need my papers. They brought me here from my country, because when they sex traffic people in, the first thing they do when they lure you in is they'll take your paperwork from you, and you can't even get a cell phone here in the U.S. without paperwork. So they take your stuff and then they put you either to do sex traffic, sex work, or work in strip clubs, or both, till you pay off your debt for them bringing you to America. So I pretended to be one of those. So under that premise, I have no paperwork, so I can't get an apartment, I can't get anything. I'm at the mercy of these traffickers, which until I pay my dues, which you never do, by the way, they keep you locked in. And then they make them afraid and they tell them if you say anything, they're going to deport you back, which actually is not true. However, so I take on this role. I start talking to this guy. I need papers. Please, they take my papers. Um, how much for new papers?
How do you learn this accent? Did you just go
I
online
studied
and
acting, and then plus my parents are immigrants. I grew up in New York and Queens, so I just picked them up. But I practice it, and I had to be good because if you're not good, you get a bullet to the head when you meet this guy. So you have to live in reality, because my life is also on the line. And so I have these phone calls with him. He agrees, okay, I'll meet with you. So my first meeting is passport photos. I had to go get passport photos. I go meet him, and I remember when I met him at his, I think he did construction, was the outside thing he did. We meet him. I'm in, I'm in like dress clothes. I'm dressing like as a very young woman, but I also had to put on sneakers because I'm like, hey, if this guy tries to do something, I need to be able to run. So I meet him. I bring my passport photos. I go to this location. That's a front. Hi, I'm here to see. I don't remember the guy's name. They're like, oh no, he's not here. You'll have to wait for him. So they play with me for a little while. Everyone's watching me from the outside, but I have no wire on, and we debated whether I should have a wire or not, or a gun. And I chose to take nothing. So I've got nothing with me, which makes me more vulnerable. But my concern was if they put me through a metal detector or they checked me, that would be worse. Because now I'm in their home and like they'll just off me right off the bat. So I'm sitting there and I'm waiting. He finally comes. Then he tries to lure me into his car. And I had been briefed, whatever you do, you don't get into a car with this guy. So I don't get in the car, and I'm like, no, 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 I don't get into a car. He's like, no, we need to talk private. Now I have eyes on me, and I want to make sure the agents and everybody can see me. So there's this back and forth where I'm like, please, I'm afraid. I don't want to go into the car. He has passport photos. I give him, I think it was 5 Gs. I give him an envelope of 5 grand. Here's the 5 grand. He's like, okay, come back in like 2 weeks. And he's like, maybe you'll get in my car. So I come back like 2 weeks later, same story. I meet him. I get my passports. He gave me a Polish passport. I won't forget. It was a real authentic Polish passport and a certificate, birth certificate, and all that. Then I'm like, the deal was though, I needed more transactions with this guy because the more you get, the longer you can put them away. But he was so good, we couldn't get anything that we knew he had done. So I'm like, hey, I have more friends. Can I send you more girls? I'll bring you more girls. So he's like, oh, yeah. So then I start bringing him more girls,
who are these girls?
other undercovers, other undercover female agents, and cops. We had NYPD play. And so we go in and we're doing this buying and selling transactions till we got enough to get the U.S. attorney to say, yes, we got him. And then they went in and they took him down.